Hey guys, it's your old pal Brian. Yes, my voice is very nearly back to normal between head colds and allergies. Jesus Christ, we were on the bus the other day and 9 out of 10, man. And I'm like, well, it looks like we already got whatever's going around and we must have, otherwise we'd have been sick again. But yeah, the Amsterdam, Holland, the Netherlands. Final thoughts. It's beautiful. It has an austere, angular beauty. It appears the Dutch don't like flash, so think the exact opposite of Trump Tower. They don't like opulence, displays of opulence, and they're very understated in just about everything they do. And they're very literal. Their language is very literal. It's nowhere near as dirty as friends of mine said it was going to be. Yes, there's that issue there, but yeah. It's no worse than any other. In fact, it's not as bad as other big cities I've been to. Train stations are pretty good. Thank God for numbers and cell phones. Otherwise, you'd never be able to get around. Yeah, you reserve times for this, that, and the other. And my wife is a genius at this stuff. We stayed at the ID Apart Hotel where we cook our own food. Type 2 diabetes, joy. Holland, the Netherlands. Is it a destination? If you're here, you need to go. And you can see the vestiges of windmills that used to be a thing. They just have basically saved them as a heritage site. Tulips, that's a huge thing, and we got here just at the end. And thank goodness for a friend of mine, Anne Marie, because she said our original trip schedule would have messed us up big time because we never would have saw the tulips. Cheese communities, basically what's happened is that, like every maritime community that we've been to in the last couple of years, they're dying. They fish themselves out, and fishing is no longer how you make a living. Tourism. They love tourists here. Everywhere we've been, they love them a tourist. So yeah, you need to go see the last vestiges of 18th century windmill uses and how they've basically gone industrial when it comes to tulips. Just like any other genetically engineered thing, they engineer them for beauty and durability and not smell. So oddly enough, my allergies didn't bother me yesterday. The river's beautiful. We'll be out there tonight. Red light district. Yeah, it's also a vestige of the past. It's been narrowed down to almost nothing. You can just rent you a gal online, and she's going to come to you. And if you're going in the red light district to get laid, you're basically a loser. There's only a couple of dozen women down there working, and if they're down there, instead of just getting picked up on an app, they're losers too. Huge party foul. To video, film, take pictures or anything down there. Ari, our local guide, is actually from Chicago. He's like 28, 29 years old, and he was fantastic. It was the best guide I've had to date. What a lovely human being and a lovely guide. Really, to be honest with you, like anything, the backstory, oh, by the way, bicycles, the backstory is more interesting than the present. Yes, you can go down there to the coffee shops and buy muffins and pot, and actually you can buy mushrooms, which is interesting. Speaking of genetically engineered, psilocybin mushrooms no longer exist. They just engineered them in truffles, and yeah, it's interesting. You can go trip out legally on psilocybin. Bicycles. My wife has romantic notions of things that we do, and I don't. When I see things like bikes, I go, yeah, or I hear we're going to go get a bike and go somewhere. I'm like, hell no. This is a bike culture. It's only about 100 years old, but it is a bike culture, and they are serious about bikes. They haul ass. You do not want to get anywhere near them. That right there is a bike lane. That's not for pedestrians. That's bike. They will run your shit over. Yeah. Man, hopefully I can remember to delete the S word. Excuse me. Yeah. Would I come here as a destination? No. If I'm in Europe, do I need to go to Holland? Yeah, for sure. You can. It was neat seeing those windmills that they basically put in a historic stasis. Back to bicycles. Ari started pointing out that you really won't see many electrics sitting here, but they have a buttload of electrics. And my observation about that is that their culture here is pretty health conscious, and same thing in the UK. So you don't see any fat, hardly people from UK. Actually, until you get to Scotland. There's a reason for it. They're on bicycles or afoot. But I see what's going to happen. Those bikes go really fast, and they're actually having they're trying to legislate them because they will kill you. And most of these people don't use a bike helmet. Excuse me. Good old allergies. Yeah. So I asked him, because he's been here 17 years. His dad is some type of attaché. And I said, I firmly believe you're fixing to see a paradigm shift in culture. More accidents, but probably as importantly, fat Hollanders, because they move their legs when they're on the bicycles, but they're just moving their legs so they don't look like jerks. They're not pedaling. So you're going to see a really a paradigm shift in human behavior. I think that's all there is to say. Tomorrow, Brussels. Oh, tonight we're going to be out on the river. I'm going to bring my 360 cam that I have resurrected and see if I can get some excuse me, I'm so sorry, water video. The river's beautiful. But yeah, our local guides here have been great. Not just Ari, but a guy named Biba. I asked him, I said, how do you have such a great command of the English language? And he goes, 95% of the media that they were getting here when he was a kid was American. Music, American, or British. He says, how I learned English so well is I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, no formal training. All right, guys. Beautiful, angular, austere Holland. Thumbs up. Destination, would I go to Scotland rather than here? Absolutely go to Scotland. Here, before I go, everything you see is below ground or sea level. Everything you see here, minimum of 3 feet. I don't get having a giant New Orleans at all here. You're totally 100% dependent on your pumps. And I think it's insanity. It has not slowed them down. That is just one crane. They are building and building and building around here. And like I said, every country I've been to, they're prosperous. 5 countries so far, all of them are prosperous. So yeah. But this is bizarre to me. I would not. I don't know, man. I'd have a nuclear power plant, 2 of them, whose job specifically it is to make 100% certain that them pumps are always running. I don't get it, man. But apparently the people who are lending money, yeah, they ain't worried a bit. And they're having a problem here for whatever reason, global warming or not. They're having a problem here, and that's that their water levels are a meter higher than just a few years ago, and they're building up on the dikes and doing everything they can to combat rising oceans. Okay, that'll do it. See ya.